live. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind for Monday, the 8th of August, 2022. I am filthy. This is Farmer John coming at you live from Tampa Bay, Florida. Good to see you, Catherine, Daisy. Those of you tuning in on the interwebs, welcome. Go ahead and check out what we do here at jlsuccessmastermind.com. So I'm sitting here because I'm actually wet and dirty. You don't usually get to see me like this, but I am filling garden boxes that I worked this weekend on, setting up garden boxes, me and my wife, and we're filling them with dirt. And it's not just any dirt. It's like potting soil with like bits of mulch and horse manure. Good stuff, right? So we're going to grow some stuff here. In fact, the guy who delivered it said, you know what, I'm getting more and more calls from people setting up gardens. I'm like, yep, it's the times. And we got to talking about, it's, they keep talking about supply chains and we're all going to starve to death and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, as long as we got criminals in Washington, that's what it's going to be. He's like, yeah, I'd be happy to be done with all of them. So anyway, there's that. Today, though, we do have a couple things on the calendar, our general session, which is right now, as well as our book study group, which happens at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time tonight. And we're going to be covering 4 or 5 chapters of the How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. In fact, let me just check which chapters those are. I know I've read chapters 15, 16, 17, 18. Maybe dig into 19 as well, which is the entire part 5 of the book. Actually, you know what? I want to talk with you about that a bit today. So whether you can tune in at our book study group live or recorded or not, I want to give you a little bit of what I've gotten and a reminder that I think everybody could use. And that reminder is to be yourself. In this book, he's talking about how to stop worrying and start living, right? So that's the whole title and premise of the book. Excuse me. All right. And one of the things he talked about in the book, and which we're going to be covering tonight, is the idea that people get so frantic and anxious and worried about trying to be the way that they think people want them to be. Now that's interesting. Has anybody else ever experienced that? Yes. Okay. He even quoted Emerson in one of the chapters. He said, imitation is suicide. So if you think about that, if you think about the tendency for people to compare themselves to others who supposedly or ostensibly, based on what they post on social media or their celebrity status in, Hollywood or in the gossip rags or whatever, if people compare their insides to other people's outsides, they're always going to fall short and think that they have to be somebody that they're not. You've all heard the saying, fake it till you make it. Well, I could see where people came up with that, where, you go ahead and you speak into reality, the good that you seek, but that's not faking it, right? That's directing your attention deliberately towards where you're going, a known destination, a guaranteed future outcome, the fulfillment of some purpose, which goes right hand in hand with being yourself. Well, whose purpose are you fulfilling, right? So the actual act of comparing ourselves to others is additionally a denial of our own purpose. So it's a double whammy. You get to worry and be purposeless. How's that sound? What a deal. Everything that we talk about here is I don't think anybody's getting new data. Like, I don't have a new truth for you or anything. In fact, quite often, these are just reminders for me that you get to listen in on. But the fact that we're going through this book and that these words are coming out of my mouth right now is indicative of the fact that this hit a nerve for me. This hit a nerve. I recently, 2 weeks ago, whatever, my wife and I both started a TikTok channels. And we're new to the whole TikTok algorithm, the platform, the 18-second videos, 48-second videos. It's interesting how it's a very interesting platform, which I resisted for a long time because I'm thinking, is that it? Is that the attention span of people? You've got 18 seconds to dazzle me with your dance moves or something. Is that what this platform is? Okay. So, and then I look at other people who are clearly have a longer attention span than that. And they're putting out just so much content. And I don't know, I can't really say that it's good. I mean, some of it is, but the point is that they're putting it out there. And so now what is my tendency to do? Look at that. Look what they did and what you haven't done. Okay. If I can leave it right there, if I could leave it right there and say, all right, well, they did it. I haven't done it. So now I shall do it, and just be very objective about it. And not with all these 10 million friggin' evaluations about, well, they're better, they're worse. I think this, I think that. I need to be more like them, blah, 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 blah. What if I just published? What if I just did it? Well, then somebody else, a year from now could say, oh, you know what, John Lavenia, I mean, I don't like his content. I think it sucks, his videos are only a minute long on TikTok, but you know what, he did it. Interestingly, the first 10 or 15 videos I did were exactly like within a second or two, 1 minute. And now I'm changing it up a bit. I'm like, how long is it going to be? It's going to be, I don't give a shit how long. That's how long it's going to be. And it's going to be shorter. It's going to be shorter. I'll make my point. I'm going to see how short of a video I can get. And those of you who on Friday, I published my second dance video. Yeah, I like to move it, right? And I think it was 12 seconds, and it goes on a loop, right? And I like to move it. I like to move it. Yeah, it was actually hard for me to find the original recording of that, which is Reel to Reel, REEL, the number 2, REAL. Even band names these days, I don't even understand. What the hell is Reel to Reel? Okay, well, cool play on words. But of course, people could say the same thing about the music I listen to. Cannibal Corpse, like what? Okay, great. So the point is, different strokes right there. I just demonstrated it. Reel to Reel. I like to move it versus Cannibal Corpse versus Beethoven versus Shannon. What's one of the new who's that girl who whispers into the microphone with her boobs hanging out?
Lady Gaga.
No, not Lady Gaga. Billie Eilish. There you go. Like every song she does, like speak up, girl, spit it out. I guess that's sexy or something. But all right. So the point is that there's one Billie Eilish, there's one, Lady Gaga, there's one Lindsay England, there's one Gail, there's one Daisy, there's one John. Rather than comparing ourselves and always coming up short, why don't we celebrate ourselves and like reclaim some purpose and be like, you know what, that's what I'm here to do. And you know what Dale talked about in the book, which I appreciated, is that not everyone is to be king. We could say in this lifetime. Okay, so doing your thing right now do you have to be king or queen or whatever? Is that what you have to be? What if you're, instead of being the king, what if you were like the ultimate general in the army? The ultimate, instead of the ultimate leader, the ultimate manager. Right? I'm just throwing out some ideas here. Okay, but do you have to force titles upon yourself for things that other people that they seem to have? I'll give you a modern day example, perfect modern day example, Donald Trump. Okay, that guy is regardless of, if you think he's boorish, meaning like a bull in a china shop, and he's not a politician. I would say he's a statesman, right? He doesn't need the money or whatever. It's just loves his country. But here he is doing stuff that would be considered difficult for most people or impossible for most people, and doing it in such a way that he creates, let's say in his corporations, right? Here's Trump Tower, here's Taj Mahal, here's skyscrapers and whatever. He creates hundreds or thousands of posts that need to be manned by people who can do that post better than he can. Great. So let's say you're making $500,000 a year as the president of one of the skyscrapers under the Trump organization or something, but your life sucks because you're not Trump himself. No, your life doesn't suck. Okay. So in fact, I remember in a book that he published with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that guy. It was one of the books. Why We Want You to Be Rich might have been one of them. talking about self-reliance and not being, just like a slave to a system which doesn't have your best interest in mind. So anyway, just to paraphrase, but one of the things that he was asked, it may have been that book, or it may have been Think Big and Kick Ass, or one of his how to become a billionaire, or something like How to Think Like a Billionaire. But one of the things he was asked, because he was like answering questions that people had mailed in or whatever, do you think anybody could be a millionaire, or something to that effect? And he said, no, not everyone's destined to be a millionaire. I mean, I dispense these ideas, and these are things that make me tick, and I'm explaining it to the best of my ability. And not everyone is cut out for that. Now, he could say that on that level. Can't you say that on your level? Whatever your level is, which is higher than his in some areas of life, let's say. Okay. So again, it's not about comparison, but can you not understand that you have strengths that not everybody's going to live up to that? I think we're just stating the obvious, right? I mean, there's plenty of motivational speeches and such where it's like, everybody can just manifest the greatness of the universe and whatever. And okay, that's nice and lofty, but do you have the constitution to do as those who came before you and demonstrated that height of result? There's the friggin' question right there. And that constitution, that internal constitution, that makeup of what you are, what you're about, does not include, or should not include, be just like Bob or something. That's nowhere written in there. Be like Bob or Sally, or insert the name of whoever you're comparing yourself to. So it truly is, as Emerson called it, a self-reliant act. Imitation is suicide. So I think what we got to do, if we're going to be ourselves, is, as we've said before, is decide on, what is for real now, for real. What is my purpose here? What am I here to do? And if we boil that down to a generality, and one that would make you, happy, and one that you all can do, even me, right, is to serve others. Serve others. In what capacity? Well, where are you drawn to do that? Build skyscrapers? Oh, no, not my gig, man. Not my deal. This is Donald guy that does that. Maybe someday. I don't see it for myself. Here's the point. I don't see it for myself right now. I don't see it. I can't touch it. So we've got to start where we are, and we've got to see what is real for me. What could I really do? What impact could I really have if I really just became myself and fulfilled the purpose which is real for me? Now, if we've abandoned or sidestepped that or buried it or stifled it to such a degree where all we can think about is how we compare ourselves to everybody else, and I don't even know what my purpose is, well, then that's where we have to start. We have to start with why. Why? Why am I doing any of this? Why am I showing up? Why am I here? Why do I have a body? Why do I have a family, or, garden boxes to shovel dirt and horse shit into? I'll tell you, I'm excited. Did you hear her? This is like the most impromptu session we've ever had. Guys, I am soaked. I am covered in dirt, and I am like, no, not a horse, just dust from the air. As the dirt flies off the shovel. Okay. So you didn't sign up for glamour, right? This isn't a mastermind on webinar hosting aesthetics. So although I do have this beautiful backdrop. You know what this is? Some of you have seen this in videos before. This is a 4-piece canvas painting rendition of a photograph. It's not like Bob Ross painting, but a photograph put onto canvas of a rock wall with a little bit of grass sticking out right there, coming up towards Mount Lemmon, the foothills of Tucson, Arizona. So this is a piece of home right here, Tucson, Arizona, right there. I'm digging Florida, but Arizona's my home. So where were we? I'm only 15 minutes in. And I feel like I want to hear from some other individuals who know that they're individuals and don't need to be John Lavenia and don't need to be whoever, right? You could just be yourself and claim your purpose and demonstrate it to an ever increasing degree every day. You know, one of the affirmations that I include in my list of auto suggestion, right, reminders, is that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple income streams, right? So there's that. So multiple income streams. So that is something real, right? I've got multiple things that I'm doing to increase the quantities of money that consistently come to me through those multiple streams. And I accomplish all this by rendering the best possible quality and quantity of service of which I am capable to other success seekers. And I am grateful to be a part of the success in the lives of so many lives and businesses. So can you adapt that? I mean, I wrote that during, here I am sitting being quiet, and I'm like, those words came up, write it down. Okay, write that down. Those are some good words right there, because you'll forget. What do you guys think about this? Do you have a purpose to fulfill that nobody else can do it exactly the way you can? Like your exact combination of, talents, purposes, desires, intentions, right? Nobody else has that exact combination. Freaking nobody. So to deny ourselves, that is to deny the world. I wrote about this in Integrity is Everything. I said I was going to shut up, but hold on a second. So there's a chapter in that book called Self-Mastery or Self-Denial. That's what we're talking about right now. I either work with this stuff and master my own life, or I deny self and therefore deny the benefits of putting myself into society. I deny everyone. I lose, and you all lose too. There's self-denial. Everybody loses. And I'll tell you what, look around the planet. I think we need to stand up. I think we need to decide who we are and then unapologetically be that. And do some good. And stop caring so much what they think. Who the hell is they? Or look at those pretty pictures in the gossip rags. Man, they're so much better than me. Please. I guarantee you, if you could have their problems for a day, you'd want yours back. All right. Catherine, Daisy, Edward, Gail, and Lindsay. Any thoughts on this? Please come on out. I gotta get another drink of water before I dehydrate. Hey, Gail.
There we go. Hi. Oh, I've lost you.
Oh, we're here.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, I think for me, I'm very comfortable with who I am now. Mm-hmm. It's taken me many, many years to get to where I am now and to be comfortable, because I did go through all those things. They're better than me. I'm not good enough. And it's taken a long, long time, a lifetime, to get to where I am now. And I'm happy with who I am. And I am happy with helping people as much as I can. I'm very active in my church, doing things for other people. And from that, I get a lot of reward and self-worth, as well as helping other people. When you help somebody, it helps you as well. Mm-hmm. What else do I want to say? I think that's about it.
Well, thank you, Gail. This whole idea that we could put our focus on making someone else happy or comfortable or assisting them in some way. If you've been through the book, these chapters that I just mentioned, was it 14 through 18 or whatever, a lot of it talked about what we were just talking about as far as being yourself, but also the idea that if you just go to serve, like all these people that come to like psychiatrists and stuff, and oh my goodness, my life sucks, and blah 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 blah. And if they just, number one, counted their blessings, right? Stop looking at all the like the 10% of the things in their life that are problems, and just started looking at the 90% of the things that are like good, like, you know, you're well fed, you got shelter, and, you know, 2 arms, 2 legs, etc. But also if you just went out and helped somebody else. There's a story in there about a woman who, she was grieved, you know, by her husband's loss, and you know, he had died, and Christmas time was coming where lots of people get emotional, and so she just got on a train or a bus or something and went somewhere, who knows. And she woke up, she was in a church, and there was 2 kids there, they were orphans, and she wound up taking them out and getting food and buying them presents and whatever. So you see the shift there is like, what's in it for me? No, there's whatever, right? And she had a great experience, right? Just giving, just serving. Right. So thank you, Gail. You're an esteemed member of this group and someone I am happy to know. All right. Anybody else on this? I know it was a brief session, but I'm going to go probably get changed here in just a minute. Actually, I'm going to go fill that other box. I got 2 8-foot by 4-foot galvanized steel boxes, 2 feet deep, so 8 by 4 by 2. And yeah, and I did the irrigation yesterday. Lindsay, you'd be proud of me. Is Linda here? Linda's not here. I did like PVC pipes, man. I'm like cutting it. I got the cement on there, and boom, boom, boom. Everything's nice and tight. Farmer John, baby. I'll tell you what.
So what are you going to be growing?
Oh, Shannon mapped the whole thing out. So we've got, so what would that be? That would be 8 times 4 times 2, so 64 square feet of growing surface. And of course, all the traditional, you know, tomatoes, string beans, cucumbers, whatever. But I think she's also going to do melons of some sort, maybe watermelons. And of course, it's Florida, so we can grow all the warm weather stuff. And we're putting in orange trees and limes and
Oh, nice.
yeah, avocado. Yeah, good stuff.
Wonderful.
Lindsay.
That is therapeutic, doing yard work.
Mhm.
Yes, I have one that I loved. Of course, I think it's a little OCD too, where I like to keep the yard looking nice. I love to cut grass. I don't know. I'd never done it until like 3 years ago. My dad never would let them. Girls don't do that. I'll cut the neighbor's grass. If it gets so certain, I'm like, and my husband's like, you gotta quit cutting people's grass. They're gonna start expecting it. I was like, well, you know, whatever. But it's like, snakes are really bad. Keep your grass cut. I don't know. But no, I would, you know, you're talking about like, hire somebody to do that. I wouldn't do that for me personally. I mean, that's like thinking time to me. Just, you know, cut grass. But that's not everybody.
Mhm.
You'd think, well, why have you got 2 teenage sons? They're not cutting. I was like, nope, I'm doing it. That's my territory. But you're right. Self-confidence comes from, you know, helping others and taking, you know what I mean? It's when you do that, your self-confidence grows.
Mhm.
And then, you know, find out what you are strong in. There was a lot of years I was like, I don't even know my strengths anymore, because you just get lost in the minutia of life. And then, but yeah, you have to find that and be, you know, you're not like anybody else. I'm not. You said something about coming up short. I always come up short. That's just who I am. But yeah, I mean, I find there's a lot of posture in being yourself.
Well, you mentioned self-confidence, and certainly that's something that a lot of people would like to improve.
Mhm.
And we do that by the observation and the acknowledgement that we succeed at stuff, right? Look, I did it, it worked. So I feel more confident next time I do something like that. I think what you're describing is more like a self-esteem. So the two kind of go hand in hand, but self-esteem is like, well, I just did something esteemable, right? I just helped the kids. I just did something I gave, right? So I'm pretty awesome. I'm not going to run around and tell people how awesome I am, but I'm going to know it, right? So, you guys ever see that movie Live, Die, Repeat? Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies of all times. Live, Die, Repeat. And in this movie, he's in like this war with like aliens and stuff. It's all sci-fi. It's really freaking cool. But because of, I won't ruin the story. I would definitely recommend you watch the movie. I've watched it like 10 times. But because of something that happens to him, every time he dies, he comes back to the beginning of that day. And like the whole day is like reset. So he gets to live, die, repeat, right? And but there's one scene in the movie where and they said it a few times because he had to relive the scene a few times, right? Where one of the other soldiers says, "Hey, watch your back out there," and another soldier says, "Nobody else will." Right. And so as Lindsay was talking, it reminded me of that. It's like, if you don't hold yourself in high esteem, well, what are you going to do? Beg others to do it for you? So hold yourself in high esteem, and others will. Anyway, love you guys. Any other thoughts before we wrap up? Okay, join us at 9 p.m. tonight. Read at least 4 chapters. And again, those chapters that at least I know that I've read are 14. No, we read that last week. 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm going to see if I can get through 19 today as well. All right. We'll see you guys later.